as Pueblo Indians, we need to keep the culture and the traditions of how we grew up, keep on going, teach the young men or women to carry on our tradition. That's how we grew up. We need to use our land. We need to use our water resources in the right way, and get more younger generation involved in farming and ranching.
About 3 years ago, our director, Edmund Gomez, wanted to look into a grant for the 10 Southern Pueblos, and the grant was called the Beginning Farmer and Rancher Program. And we partnered up with the Institute of American Indian Art. We went out and started recruiting beginning farmers and ranchers. They had to be a farmer or a rancher with 10 years or less experience. So we had interviews and we had them sign up.
The Beginning Farmer Rancher program is a very unique program that allows us the opportunity to further our education and do industry best practices, and just an advantage that if you're not a part of the program, that it's kind of hard and difficult to go places and to get that learning experience that's out there. So it makes it very possible, and it makes it for overall well-being for the Pueblo and for the beef industry as well.
And working with NMSU beginning farmer ranchers, I've learned a lot.
The beginner farmer ranching program came about through NMSU, through Alcalde, and I heard about it and got involved with it. Well, it came at a right time just when I retired, because I wanted to go back into farming and ranching, but I also wanted to update myself, catch up on what's been going on, all the stuff that I missed since I was in school back then. I know a lot of things have changed, and more current things that we were utilizing back then or were promoted in agriculture is no longer really the things. A lot of changes, so I wanted to get updated on those.
We had a curriculum that we started with the beginning farmers and ranchers. First, we started at the ground level.
I've enjoyed being a member and participating all the workshops, seminars, and get to do a lot of traveling, and it's beneficial. And I pass on the information to all my tribal members, especially on raising livestock and also for producing alfalfa.
Yeah, I think I went on tours and attended almost all of the workshops that have been put on by NMSU, and other workshops that I was interested on my own.
But I gained quite a bit because I was out of it since 1980, 84, 80, way back. I was farming with my grandpa. I remember that's where I learned how to drive, and all that with the dam and sea pitch, and it stopped, like I said. So, but I gained quite a bit. I know a lot of people now from here and there. I never knew before. So it was just good to have that little inner connection. It's not.
We did soils workshops. We did herd health workshops. We did crops. Up in Abiquiu last year in the fall, we had a AI program in pregnancy testing, which was for the ranchers.
Crate checking cows, that was something we never did. Grew up with livestock all my life. My family's had livestock. We just, figured a cow would have a calf all the time, but not really monitoring that cow on a daily basis, on a monthly basis, a yearly basis. And we never saw it as a management tool. And today now, we're actually implementing that to some of our tribal members to, get better production out of cows. And here in this department, we see that as a tool because we see a lot of cattle. We observe the cattle out in the back country. We monitor them. We take inventories of them, and the cow to calf ratio is not what it should be. So that brought us to, made it a concern for us, and that's what we're addressing now. And for us here, range land, utilization of grass. I tell a lot of my staff, I said, we don't have cattle producers, we have grazing managers, because we have to make sure we got grass, and that's one of the things that we really push our cattle producers too, you know. And, I mean, there's over probably about 100 producers on Acoma. There's close to a little over 3,000 head of cattle on Acoma. So, you know, and it's our responsibility to monitor those cows, and so that's what we do with the department. And as an individual, teaching my staff, you know, cattle issues, and you know, so it's been a challenge, you know, taking people that never touched a cow, never looked at a cow, to actually implement these techniques, you know, and teach them.
Pretty much, the industry is changing every day, every year. There's something new. Low stress seems to be the biggest implement that I've picked up this past year. It's a practice that we're doing on our ranch as well. So for the monetary sustainability of our ranch, practices have shown that if you stress your cattle, they lose pounds per day, you know, when they're stressed. And so we get paid by the pound, and you don't want to take that chance in losing any money or any aspect of that as far as your ranch operation goes.
Knowing that by taking care of them and going out there every day to check on them, that the cows are calm. You know, they're not as wild as some people that try to go into the business that never tend to their cattle. I see them always running away or being wild out there, you know, because there's no one taking care of them or talking to them. Because I talk to my cattle because they're just like humans. They have a heart and, you know, and a brain and stuff. So I just learned them to be nice to them the same way you would treat your kids and stuff. And they're as calm as ever, you know. And
being in the program, I've learned to do a lot of caring and medications, and I'm BQA certified now, and just knowing how to care for the cattle.
I learned a lot, you know, doing the vaccination. I learned different, you know, we used to, like you said, back in days we didn't care where they put it, the shots, but now that actually putting it up here, and it saves a lot stress and tear on the animal.
My dad's been a rancher for over 40 years, and after his passing, I took over the livestock, and that's where I've been carrying on from since. Knowing that the livestock, the cattle, my dad loved, and why I've grown to have that same kind of feeling and background with what my dad's been dealing with, and coming to realize how important your livestock is to the family.
We have to take care of our animals because they'll take care of us in the future. Not even by just not the money, but, you know, by feeding us through, you know, butchering time, or, you know, giving back to the people, you know.
Down in Las Lunas back in January, they had one on different forage crops. They had workshops, and that's the one that the farmers attended that one.
Before, I didn't really have a clue on what varieties were available, and I really didn't know, just asking other farmers, how do you, you know, when do you irrigate, or do you fertilize or not, or do you maybe you raise organic hay, or, you know, all them types of questions have been answered with New Mexico State's help. I've done like a lot of information on the New Mexico State, the testing on the alfalfa, as far as production-wise, and irrigation methods, and also soil testing. I've had my field soil tested, and I'm still interested in varieties, the different tests, varieties that grow well in Farmington, cooler temperatures with fall dormancy ratings on different types of alfalfa, because there's like about 100 types of alfalfa, and I like to get a variety that's well suited for my elevation, my climate. Like all farmers, we have a shortage on water. Water is sometimes not available, and I like to have one that's disease resistant, and also that's drought resistant. varieties?
I gained a lot of knowledge on everything. It was the vegetable production, alfalfa. I'm thankful for it. I mean, if I didn't go to those things, I wouldn't know what I'm doing. You know, I'd just be guessing. But they have a lot of vital information there, and if people take advantage, there's some guys I see there, and they are taking advantage of it, and which is good. I'm glad they were around.
For each of the producers, there was a farmer. We went out and did a soil sample on their fields. And at each of these workshops, we brought in USDA agencies.
Well, we've started with the curriculum. We developed different modules that include business, and we're teaching each of the beginning farmers about a SWOT analysis and how to develop a business plan, and how important record keeping is to their farm or ranch. And they're learning that this is something that they need to do to get their USDA loans or grants, and all the different things if they're going to get a loan from a lender, and just to be able to do risk management for their farm or ranch. And we've had very good success with them learning about their records, and they're keeping records now, and I think they're developing new techniques and new ways of addressing issues that happen on their farm or ranch.
This is one of the first field demonstrations that we do. We planted some fruit trees for a producer on the Pueblo of Santo Domingo.
My name is Leonard Bird, and I live in Santo Domingo, Pueblo. I've been here all my life, and I own about 12 acres in this area. When I was in high school, I did farm a whole lot during my high school years, and then I went off to college, and I tried to stay in agriculture, especially with the land I have here at Santo Domingo. And after that, I did get a job which was away from the village, so that took me out of agriculture and farming and livestock for a good, I would say, 25 to 30 years. But I never lost sight of becoming a farmer. I always wanted to come back and work with the community and the land that I have here. And once I did retire, I got into agriculture and met different folks from New Mexico State University with the agricultural programs that they had, and I was very interested. They were very good people. They had a lot of knowledge, and their technology and knowledge was great. So I wanted to pursue that and work with them with every step that I had here at the village. And right now, with the Beginning Farmer and Ranchers program, I have been taking advantage of all the workshops and different projects that they have throughout the southern Pueblos, which was very good. They come out to your farm and look at it. We've done soil testing. We've looked at the water, the projects here, and they were very good about helping me out. And right now I have this small orchard that we just finished planting today. And with this small project here, once it gains a foothold, and if it does real good, I plan on expanding the orchard project. And also I do have alfalfa and a small garden that I do work with. And that's all with the help of myself and the family, of course. But I want to keep them with me every step of the way. And I will be working with NMSU and their staff all the way along till the very end. Yeah, I'm here at Santo Domingo, Pueblo with a small orchard that we just finished planting today with the help of NMSU and Santa Fe, IAIA up in Santa Fe. What we have here is an orchard with all apple trees. 34 apple trees is what the count was in about a little less than an acre of land. And I went with three different varieties of apple trees, which are about 3 feet tall. And hopefully in the future, other community members as well as my young family will see the type of work that went into it and the apple trees that have been planted today. And in the future, hopefully they'll grow to a good size and maybe we can get a good harvest out of it. And the community also will see it and they'll become interested in maybe turning some of their land also into an orchard. The reason I wanted to become part of the Beginning Farmers and Ranchers program was to improve the way of agricultural life here in the village. And hopefully once I do gain a better perspective on improving my agriculture phase of it here in the village, other residents in the community would take note and would also pursue a program such as what NMSU has instituted at this time. And along with that, I wanted to show my family, especially my 2 young sons and a son who is at NMSU at this time, what agriculture is like and what the process is, and how hard it is to be a farmer and to raise something with your own 2 hands and the whole family. But to be in agriculture, it doesn't take just yourself, it's the whole family, and sometimes, as it is here in Santo Domingo, it's the whole community that becomes involved.
I joined the Beginning Farmers Ranchers project because it was available for me. It was there, and I just wanted to get back into the ranching and farming. We were farmers back in the 80s, 85 when I was growing up as a teenager, and then we had the problem with the dam. Here we had seepage come underneath, and then the farming just came to a complete stop. So we missed maybe 2 generations of farming. And then, you know, I was a machinist by trade in Albuquerque. I worked every day, commuted, and then it just came to a point where I didn't want no more anything to do with that anymore. And so I came back over here and I worked with the golf course, mowing grass. I mow grass, seasonal. So, you know, I was here, and then I got offered a job here with the tribe, a contract, and I got stuck with the farm services, and I was like, all right, okay, you know, this is nice, you know, I haven't been on a tractor in a while. So eventually I got into it. NMSU extension service was down here, so I signed up and I got accepted. And as you can see, right now I have my own implements right now. I never had tractor, I never had a baler, I never had any of that, but now I do. I'm back into it. I asked for 13 acres to start off with from the tribe, and they allowed me to, so I planted alfalfa there. And then I asked for another 4 acres on the other side of the river, and I have alfalfa there. So that kept me busy, and I was using the farm services over here. It was available, so that's how I was doing it. But now that I got my own tractor and implements, I moved over to, I got asked for more land on the east side behind Pena Blanca. They call it the Bacalateral, and we have 20 acres over there. So now we have alfalfa mix and straight alfalfa. So it's all planted, and we're in operation over there. So that's how I got back into the farming. I have my boys to help me, so they're getting the feel of it again. The hoop house is what they built it for us. I'm thankful for them to put that there. You know, it's awesome. So it's gonna work. I know it's gonna work. It has a water system in there. You can hook up the water hose to it, and then it has a sprinkler system in there. I wasn't expecting that many. I think I was only expecting like 20, and then eventually it was like about 50. It went out pretty quick. I mean, I was, you know, thankful for that too. So got it ready. It's just a matter of time. I mean, winter's gonna be here pretty soon. Veggies and lettuce and maybe even some chili, just to try to extend the planting time and all that. Oh, I know this is gonna work. The winter months, it's gonna be a perfect time.
Tomato tour up in Alcalde was really an eye-opener. Although I heard about it in the past, and I seen some evidence on it on TV, what they're doing in other parts of the country, that was interesting to see what was going on with those hydroponic tomato farming. That was really nice to see how the operation was set up and where they're marketed as far as tomatoes go. I want to be diverse. I like to have various things, whatever would work in my community here. I always wanted to have like a butcher shop, meat processing. That was my thing I always thought about back in high school when I was in FFA, because around here in my community there's always something going around, weddings, different events that a lot of people, there's a demand for meat processing and so forth.
Which I want to open a feed store for the Pueblo of Acoma, and from there on I want to produce my own meat through my cattle and through the 2 organizations we have here in Acoma, and from there on producing meat to all the local casinos, supermarkets, and to the outskirts of the different cities here in New Mexico. If we can all work that together, those are my 2 major goals that I want to.
I think we need to target more on the on the younger ones, like the teens. We actually didn't target the younger ones and the high school kids. It's mostly in their 20s, their 30s.